Luke here with the Outdoor Boys YouTube channel, and today we're exploring the backcountry of Alaska. All right, so I'm not Luke, but if you get the reference, you're an OG. Dude's got a killer YouTube channel. Thought it would be a funny intro. I'm Conrad, and this is the Trail Co. YouTube channel, and today we're driving up to Kohler-Andre State Park in Wisconsin, right off of Lake Michigan, and we're gonna do a little bit of camping. I don't know if you guys can see it behind me, but I'm pulling the Boony Stomper for the first time with the new 4G. Really, the whole purpose of this trip is to experience the Boony Stomper from Sunnyside Off-Road in a really cold environment. So winter is almost over, and we've got one of the last weekends where it's going to be actually cold. It's about 36 degrees right now. It's a little bit colder up north. I'm in Illinois, so I'm heading up into Wisconsin. I believe it's like 30 degrees there, and tonight we're looking at about like 15, maybe 20 degrees at night in Fahrenheit. I don't know what the conversion there is for Celsius, but I'm on the way. It's my first solo camping trip. I think I've never gone out by myself like this, so always been with somebody. Kenny wasn't cool enough to tag along this time, so it's gonna be a quick solo overnight trip to test out the Boony in the cold. Follow along. Okay, our first stop. Got a little bit of wood. I don't know what the wood situation is going to look like. So I bought a few bundles. I'm sure they'll have some dry wood, but I threw it all here in this basket up front. Ratchet strapped it down. And we're going to hit the road again. All right, so we're driving. I got about an hour before we get to Colar. This is my first time towing with the Tacoma. We recently added a peak suspension trail kit, 2 1/4, and those are preload collars and spacers, and some 33 by 12.5 by 17-inch tires from Arroyo, some RTs, and then we put those on some Lock Off-Road Combats. Before this video comes out, I should be launching one on the install day and first impressions, so make sure you check that out. If you want to see more about the trailer too, we've got a couple of videos from last year that you guys can take a look at as well. But first impressions right off the bat, I feel like I can't even tell that the trailer is there. So that's good. I mean, it only weighs about like 7, maybe 800 pounds with the stuff that I've got on it right now. And hookup is super easy. I mean, towing one of these is just about as easy as it gets. We got this guy over here. It's not nearly as difficult to tow as this guy's setup over here, but MPGs.
Speed check reported ahead on I-41 North.
Speed check. But MPG wise, we lost a little bit, but it does go up and down. We'll kind of see the next time I stop here. I'll have to pull over for gas soon, what my average is for this last like 30-40 miles or something like that. But it seems pretty stable. Not that I'm too concerned about MPG. Usually don't do the best with all these mods and, you know, added weight and everything like that, but we'll see what it is. But yeah, first time towing with the truck has been great. It automatically recognizes that I'm towing something, and it's got a bunch of little assists on it. Everything's plugged into the electrical system. I towed this previously with my 3rd gen Tacoma. It had no problem, and that thing was heavy. So a nice little test drive ride to see how this thing handles before we really start to build the truck out and take some extended trips. Just wanted to give you guys some feedback. Like I said, I'll update you on the MPG and everything like that. But for now, I will tune back in when we get to the state park. I'll show you guys around over there. We're gonna set up camp, do a little fire. Nothing too crazy tonight. I even brought food with, so I'm not planning on cooking or anything like that. But yeah, I'll check back in when we land at Kohler. All right, so first gas stop. Let me show you guys something super helpful with the trailer. Let me put it in drive, maybe it'll be a little bit better. The cool thing about the trailer and all these cameras, first of all, look how many there are. You can see 100 different angles. I really like this one. Even gives you a little red line where I imagine the hitch goes. There's a bunch of other off-road ones, but if you take a look, even over here, hopefully the sun's not washing it out too bad. A lot of neat features on these premiums that have all these cameras. So I'm gonna shut the truck off here. Let's see what kind of MPG we just did. So our last trip, we did 50 miles and averaged about 14.6 MPG, going about 70, 80 miles an hour. So not bad. It could obviously be a lot better, but we're gonna fill up, and then this gas tank should last me the rest of the way there and then back to the house. So I'll do kind of like a final MPG check when we wrap this up. Look at those gas prices, man. $2.65. I know some of you guys are out west where it's not that great, but in Wisconsin, it's real good. Illinois gas prices aren't the worst. They were like $3.09, but $2.65, man, here at the Loves. Killer deal. All right, here we are. We are pulling into Kohler-Andre State Park. Sunset right now, in about 20 minutes. We'll stop at the beach real fast so you guys can take a look, but let's see what we got to do here to check in first. Okay, so that little scene at the beach is the Kohler State Park beach. It does reach for, I don't know, probably several miles. I've never explored the full extent of it, but I just got here. I was cooking on the way here. Allegedly, I was doing about 80, 90 miles an hour, and I got about 12 miles per gallon through some ups and downs. So not terrible, but also not the worst. Could be a lot worse. Was a lot worse with the last truck. So yeah, I'll keep this brief. I don't know if I said this already, but Colar, and if I did, sorry, I'll cut this out. Colar is the Kohler, the same one that does the water fixtures and everything like that, faucets and shower doors and whatnot. I actually have a bunch of Kohler stuff at my house. You probably do too. But Colar, the city, I think this is the original Colar, like where the whole company started and still is today, is a small community, super pretty, really good restaurants, really good hotels. It's a really nice place. It's like almost too nice. When you get there, you're like, I've never seen a city that looks this nice. And it's a nice, quaint little town. I highly recommend it if you guys are ever in the area, you're visiting Chicago or something like that. I highly recommend that you check out Colar. So again, restaurants, food, state parks, camping. They got everything here. We've done little hybrid trips of like camp one night and then stay at the American Club. It's a super nice spot out there. They got some coffee shops, like I said, restaurants, all that kind of stuff. So really nice area. Typically it's super packed here. Obviously it's cold here. There's still a little bit of snow on the ground over here. Maybe you guys can kind of see it out there. It's 30 degrees right now, so not that many people here. Campground is like not even entirely operational right now, but if you do come here in the summer, make sure you have a reservation, make sure you plan ahead of time. This place is popping. So let's go find a campsite. We'll set up camp, and yeah, it's chilly. We'll see how the Boony does today. Okay, took a quick cruise around the open campsites. The water's right over there. There's a really nice spot right here, a little bit closer to it, but I didn't want to get in that guy's way. So we backed in right here. Nice flat and level, and then it opens up into a nice spot for us to have a fire. We got the fire pit. Sun is basically down, but that's it. You guys can watch me make a fire, set this little stomper up, and probably just kick it for the rest of the night. How good does this thing look at night though? I wish the exposure was a little bit better, but it's a mood. But anyway, let's get all settled in, start a fire, and then I'll show you guys the inside of this thing and all the lights and everything and how bright they are once it gets totally dark out. Got a little fire going. Forgot a chair, so I scooted the bench over here. You can hear the ocean in the background. And even from here, look, you can see those side lights on the Boony. Let's go back over there. These are just the side projecting pods. Look at that. That is more than enough light. More than enough light. And then I really like the bed lighting on the new Tacoma. I'm kind of getting off track here, but it's super bright. Look at that. So much light. And you can move them, point them up or down. And we got those big daddy light bars. I'll show you guys my sleeping setup in a little bit, but let's turn that one on. And look at these, dude. I have the smaller power station hooked up right now, so you can't see it as good. Or, I mean, the lights might not be full strength, although they look real bright. I gotta hook up the 1000 watt. I had like a test unit 250 or something like that. Maybe I have a 500. I don't know. I need to go look into it. I'll show you guys later on when we're back inside. But look at that light output. That is absurd. We love lights. We love overkill. So this is pretty cool. Welcome to MTV Cribs Trailer Edition. Let me show you guys what we're working with in here. So inside of here, that's the little test jackery, a 240, and I think that's the 500. Got the solar charger in there and everything, and that's what's powering the whole setup. Check that out. Got my wife's Hello Kitty pillow. I threw down an extra blanket on top of the mattress. Then I've got this hover quilt from Aeronaut. This thing's stupid warm. It weighs like absolutely nothing, and it doesn't keep you confined like a regular sleeping bag does. So I got an extra, look at that, camp blanket. Is that a Boony Stomper, dude? I think it might be. I intentionally brought this one for today. There's not really much to show here. Clearly it's just enough of a sleeping area for one or two people and a dog. I'm 6'1", and I sleep in there pretty comfortably. You can see the insulation in there. A lot of the construction is wood, so it's pretty thick. The insulation should keep things pretty warm. It's already not that bad in here to begin with. Got our light switches, chargers right there. We got the vent up there. And then these windows open up here on the doors. You can see this one right here. But yeah, it's about 25, maybe 30 degrees. Dropping quick. Just want to show you guys a little walk around my setup. We're gonna go back to the fire and enjoy. Let me know if you guys have any questions about this. Super neat little setup. Got my wood and everything, but nothing I didn't show you guys already. So I'm gonna go over there, enjoy the fire. I'll kind of check back in here before I go to bed. Maybe I'll go take a quick walk around the beach. We'll see if the moon's out. But there you go. Cribs, Boony edition. It's about 11 o'clock and fire's out. Went through 4 bundles of wood. Pretty chilly. It didn't drop a ton. I thought it was going to be like under 20, but it's actually about 25 degrees. And I checked the weather and it looks like it's going to be pretty stable. So I'm inside the Boony, obviously. And I've got my hover quilt and all my blankets and everything, and I'm just kicking it. It is definitely warmer inside the trailer than outside, and the longer I'm in here, it seems to be warming up just a little bit. I've cracked the vent on top so it doesn't get all sticky, and so the condensation doesn't build up everywhere. We'll see what it's like in the morning. This is my first time, and at least in this weather, staying in here, and this is usually when the condensation is the worst. Can't really see my breath, maybe a little bit, so that already tells you it's a little bit warmer in here, where outside again it's 25 degrees Fahrenheit. But yeah, probably scroll around on my phone for a little bit, maybe do some reading, and then call it a night, and then we'll check back in with you guys in the morning. But so far so good. I've had diesel heaters on campers and electric blankets and everything, and electric blanket would be nice, but not crazy necessary. But definitely pretty comfy. I'm not super affected by the cold, especially because I'm dressed up. I mean, I got a hoodie, a jacket, pants, everything on still, so I'm pretty warm. I'll check back in the morning. We'll see what it's like after we sleep in here for 6-7 or so hours, and then we'll talk to you guys in the morning. Oh man, I just woke up, cracked the window. It did get a little chillier. I have an extra blanket underneath the hover quilt. So at one point I was like almost sweating. So I don't think insulation or, staying warm is really a problem in these campers, trailers. Definitely a little bit of condensation everywhere. I could have probably cracked the window a little bit more. But overall, I was pretty warm. Extra blanket helped. Being dressed helped. But I want to get up here and wake up a little bit more, and I'll talk to you guys in a second. Okay. There it is. Good morning. Let's take a quick look at our campsite here. The only people that are here are over there. The beach is just behind that hill. Bunch of campsites. Still got some ice and snow on the ground, so it is cold. I'm not just making that up. At the end of the day, Boony did good. You can see a little bit of condensation and build up. Gotta figure out how to circulate the air a little bit better in there, but you can't just open all the windows. But I was warm, and that's the main thing. You want to stay warm when you're out there. So winter camping in the Boony, it works. Stayed warm, had a good night's sleep, Woke up even sweating a little bit at one point, and that was just with the one blanket and how I'm dressed. So, but yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know. Trailer works, stayed nice and warm. Got to figure out the condensation. A dry heat source would be super nice. Even something just to cut the moisture out of the air, but we'll figure that out later. It's about to be springtime. It's about to be summertime. We're going to be dealing with the opposite problem. So maybe we'll do a little cutscene at the end here, but if I don't, thank you for watching. Stick around for the next one. See you later.